April 5, 1933. Franklin Roosevelt signed an executive order requiring every American citizen to surrender their gold, their coins, their bullion, their gold certificates, every form in which ordinary Americans held gold wealth, all of it, to the Federal Reserve by May 1st. Penalty for non-compliance, 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. It was the largest government seizure of private property in American history, and 2 days later, America got its beer back. To understand Executive Order 6102, we must recall what America looked like in early 1933. The Great Depression had been grinding for 4 years, 25% unemployment, 9,000 banks had failed since 1929. Industrial output had collapsed by half, but the crisis went deeper than breadlines. The United States government itself was functionally bankrupt. Under the gold standard, every dollar in circulation had to be backed by gold held in reserve. Americans, terrified by bank failures, were hoarding gold, withdrawing it from banks, hiding it at home. The more gold left the banking system, the less currency could circulate. The less currency circulated, the deeper the depression grew. The Federal Reserve could not expand the money supply beyond its gold reserves. The architecture was strangling the economy. FDR took office on March 4, 1933. He had weeks before the entire banking system collapsed. He needed all of your gold. Here is something the history books rarely place side by side. Executive Order 6102 was signed April 5, 1933. 2 days later, April 7, 1933, FDR signed the Cullen-Harrison Act. Beer was legal again. For 13 years, America had been dry. No alcohol, no bars, no beer. And in the same week, the government confiscated every form of privately held gold wealth in America. The most beloved social freedom in living memory was returned. The celebrations were immediate. Front pages across the country. Beer trucks rolling through city streets. The first team of Budweiser Clydesdales delivered a ceremonial case of beer to the White House. America was drinking again. The greatest government seizure of private property in American history happened in the same week that millions of Americans were focused on something else entirely. Whether the timing was deliberate or coincidental, the president got America drinking again 2 days after he took its gold. Executive Order 6102 was signed under the authority of the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917. Its official title, forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates. It required all persons, citizens, corporations, associations, to deliver all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates to the Federal Reserve by May 1, 1933. Every form in which Americans held gold wealth. The government paid $20.67 per ounce, the official price. Exemptions were narrow. Dentists, jewelers, collectors of rare coins. Everyone else surrendered. Those who refused faced 10 years imprisonment and a $10,000 fine, equivalent to roughly $230,000 today. Most Americans complied. The Federal Reserve collected the gold. The Treasury absorbed it. It was shipped to a facility in Kentucky that opened specifically to hold it, Fort Knox. 6 weeks after Executive Order 6102, Congress passed House Joint Resolution 192, signed into law June 5, 1933, as Public Law 73-10. HJR 192 did something that had never been done in American history. It abolished the gold clause in all contracts, public and private. The gold clause had been standard in American contracts for decades. It required debts to be repaid in gold, or in currency equivalent to gold's value. It protected creditors against currency devaluation. HJR 192 made every gold clause in every contract in America null and void. What this meant in practice, every debt in America could now be discharged in paper currency. not gold, not gold equivalent currency, paper. The government, which was itself the largest debtor in the country, had just abolished the mechanism that would have required it to repay its debts in gold. The Supreme Court challenged it in the Gold Clause cases of 1935. The justices ruled 5-4 that the government had the power to abrogate gold clauses in private contracts. Chief Justice Hughes, writing for the majority, acknowledged the action was questionable, but upheld it anyway. The architecture of American debt had been permanently altered. January 30th, 1934. FDR signed the Gold Reserve Act. It did two things. First, it formally transferred ownership of all gold held by the Federal Reserve to the United States Treasury. Second, it revalued gold from $20.67 per ounce to $35 per ounce. Overnight, the Treasury recorded a paper profit of approximately $2.8 billion in 1934 dollars. It was used to capitalize the Exchange Stabilization Fund, a Treasury Department vehicle with almost no congressional oversight that still exists today. The greatest forced transaction in American history had generated a $2.8 billion windfall, paid for by the people who had no choice but to comply. Step back and see the full picture. In the space of 9 months in 1933, Franklin Roosevelt declared a national emergency, invoked a wartime act designed for foreign enemies, and turned it against American citizens, demanded every form of gold wealth be surrendered within 25 days, got the country drinking again 48 hours later, abolished the gold clause in every contract in America 6 weeks after that, and then, December 5th, 1933, ended prohibition before revaluing the gold he had taken at $15 above what he paid for it. He got America drunk, he took the gold, and then he told you it was worth 70% more than he gave you for it. The Exchange Stabilization Fund built from that windfall, a Treasury slush fund with almost no congressional oversight, is still operating today. You didn't consent, you didn't profit, and nobody went to prison for it. Private gold ownership was finally restored in 1974, 41 years after it was taken. Fort Knox still stands in Kentucky. The government has not permitted a full, independent audit of its gold since 1953. The gold the government bought from Americans at $20.67 an ounce is now worth around $4,000 an ounce. The greatest forced return on investment in history. You didn't consent, you didn't profit, and nobody went to prison for it. But here is what the history books never put side by side. FDR's gold confiscation in 1933 was the largest government seizure of private gold in American history. It was not the most audacious gold heist in American history. That happened 64 years earlier. 2 men, 1 plan. The entire gold supply of the United States of America. Jay Gould, James Fisk, 1869. They didn't ask for your gold. They didn't pass a law. They didn't threaten 10 years in prison. They simply decided to corner every ounce of gold in America, buying it all, controlling the price, holding the entire economy hostage, until the United States government was forced to intervene. What happened on September 24, 1869, Black Friday, makes Executive Order 6102 look like a politely worded request. That is the next video. The vault gets richer, and somewhere, always somewhere, something else is burning. Subscribe to Vault and Ruin. We go where the money went.